Saturday kickoff on ESPN. Gorgeous morning in downtown Birmingham for an American Conference showdown. The Cadets of West Point coming in with a little bit of desperation, starting their year 1-3 with a pair of OT losses against a UAB team who can match their win total from last year with a victory today at Protective Stadium. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the former captain of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Dustin Fox. And if you like offense, you came to the right spot. Two totally different offenses, Dustin, but we expect a lot of scoring today.
Well, we know the triple option attack by Army, but on the other side of things, UAB, they run a pro-style attack. And by the way, their quarterback, Jalen Kitna, may be a top quarterback drafted come April.
Well, certainly he's played like it so far. Statistically, one of the best passers in the country. His stats tell part of the story. The other part is he's only made 12 starts in his collegiate career.
It's amazing. Just the 12 starts, 8 starts a season ago, and now looking into this year, the last 3 weeks straight, over 300 yards passing. And we talked with Trent Dilfer, their head coach who played 15 years in the NFL. He loves this kid. Obviously, Jalen Kitna's father played in the league as well. We know that. But when you talk with Alex Mortensen, their offensive coordinator, he understands what it takes to coach professional level quarterbacks. He's coached like 5 of them at Alabama. And he thinks that Jalen Kitna will be a top quarterback in the upcoming draft.
Tall task for Army West Point's defense, but they do have a pair of studs in the middle, nicknamed the Gremlins, a pair of returning starters and 2 of the top tacklers in the conference.
Well, when you have a nickname like the Gremlins, I mean, we got to feature these dudes in the open. Got to talk about Andon Thomas and Caleb Fortner and just their ability and the way that they play the game. I mean, they make nearly every tackle. They're always around the football, and the way they pride themselves in their leadership ability and how they handle themselves on and off the football field, it's just tremendous.
Trent Dilfer, now in his 3rd season at UAB, told us coming off the bye week, we now have a much better understanding of who we are. We're a special teams team with a very good offense. Certainly Jalen Kitna, the centerpiece to that. UAB won the toss, elected to receive. It is Solomon Beebe on the return. He's already taken 1 kick to the house this year, and good starting field position for Jalen Kitna, who's making just his 13th career start, coming off a long bye after he tied the program record with 38 completions against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was an impressive performance against the Volunteers. Obviously, you've got to be throwing a ton in a game like that. You're going into a hostile environment. They ended up losing the ball game 56-24. But the numbers were tremendous. And the thing you have to love about Kitna, the 8 touchdowns on the season, just 3 interceptions. He's doing a better job taking care of the football.
As Javon Jackson, their leading rusher, in the backfield to start. Play action and a little too hot to his intended receiver, Iverson Hooks, who has become the lead wide receiver without Corey Milliner, away from the team for an indefinite period of time. So a little bit shorthanded at the wide receiver position. Second and 10. And complete over the middle for a gain of about 7 to Xavier Daisy, who came on strong against Tennessee, had 3 catches for 42 yards.
Well, 3rd and 2, this is the down and distance that Army would love to have on their offensive possession, but it's a nice start here, an opportunity here. They're out near midfield already, and probably 4-down territory as well.
Play action over the middle, pass is caught by Daisy again. And took out one of our officials.
Well, the official nearly took out Daisy. I mean, that ball was well thrown. And, yeah, he was double covered by a defender, Colin Madison, number 30. And then, of course, the referee right there, the umpire.
Joseph Panucci. Little blood on the elbow, but he's going to play banged up. UAB moves the football on 1st down. Offense has not been the issue this year for UAB, a top 50 team in total offense. It's been their defense that has struggled. Throwing the football, scoring the football. They've done so with efficiency through 4 weeks of the season. Here is Jackson. What a story he has been for UAB. Undersized, under-recruited out of high school, went to FCS, was an All-American, led UTEP last year in rushing. Now he's doing it again at UAB.
Yeah, probably one of the most well-rounded running backs that they have on their roster. Gonna be splitting carries there as well with Isaiah Jacobs, but you can see his numbers on the season. You love to see over 5.5 yards per carry.
Getting under center for the first time on this opening drive. Jackson had to put the brakes on. It was Tuioti at the nose tackle position making the tackle.
Started off the season very strong. Obviously, you're taking on a lower level team in Alabama State, which that game was crazy, high scoring, but the production has been down the last several weeks.
Screen set up for Caleb Brown, and the Iowa transfer stopped after a gain of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Man, I got to think here. You pick up 3, 4, 5 yards. You make it a situation where you're probably going to go for it on 4th down, especially after talking with Coach Dilfer yesterday and getting his thoughts on the field goal unit and where he feels comfortable.
Send Solomon Beebe in motion, pressure off the edge, picked up and complete to Brandon Hawkins Jr. Now 3rd and short. Do they keep the offense on the field? And it appears they will.
Well, you can see, Army.
I beg your pardon. That was a 1st down catch to Hawkins.
Army after last week, Matt, they give up a bunch of explosives early in that first half to East Carolina. It appears today playing a little bit more top down from the secondary, a little more zone coverage, which is allowing UAB to take some underneath throws and taking a little bit more time to move down the field. ECU was just going down with chunk play after chunk play, especially in that first quarter.
Fake it to Jackson, over the middle and almost intercepted by Casey Larkin, the Jim Thorpe watch list recipient at the strong safety position.
Wow, they're just trying to find the tight end like on a little pop pass down the seam, and they're looking for Antonio Ferguson, 85. But man, what instincts by Casey Larkin to come over and nearly pick that ball off.
They feel like he could play strong safety at any school in the American Conference.
I think he could probably play any position in the secondary. I mean, he's that athletic and that talented. When chatting with their defensive staff, they were just raving about that young man.
Pressure comes and takes down Kitna. It's Cole Seawright, the sophomore from Waxhaw, North Carolina. And just the 2nd sack of the season for the West Point defense.
Yeah, there's Seawright right there, top of your screen. They're going to bring a little pressure off the end. Unblocked. I mean, that's an easy sack for Seawright. Already came into the game with half a sack on the season.
3rd and 17. Getting up underneath to Hawkins Jr. Now they're well within the field goal range of last year's AAC Specialist of the Year, Jonah DeLonga, and they will bring him out.
Well, if they're somehow able to salvage 3 points here, you got to be happy with that if you're Coach Dilfer after nearly seeing the drive stall because of an interception and a turnover.
44-yarder here for DeLonga. 1 yard short of his longest this year, hit from 45 against Tennessee. And that is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Army's defense and special teams come up with the stop. It was Jack Bosom making the tip.
Media timeout on the field.
Well, just as good as the turnover, a block kick by the Black Knights. Productive drive by UAB to start the game, but it stalls. Black Knights hold.
You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. First time Army West Point has traveled to UAB since joining the league back in 2023. Their defense and special teams come up with a stop. And so Dwayne Coleman, last year's backup to Bryson Daly, has a chance to open the scoring for West Point today. Quarterback has been a point of inconsistency for this West Point team coming into the day. Dustin 1-3. Cale Helms got that start and that win against K-State. Dwayne Coleman missed that game because of injury. Both have done good things. Both have had mistakes. They're still figuring out that position this year.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Helms played so well in that game against Kansas State where he had to carry the football 41 times. I think Coleman's just still battling that injury a little bit here as he gets the carry on second down.
Had a chance to meet with Dwayne last night at the West Point team hotel. He carries the responsibility so heavily on his shoulders of representing not just West Point, but the United States Army as a whole, week in and week out on Saturdays.
No, he really does, Matt. I was blown away, not just by him, but all the players we had a chance to speak to yesterday, and including their staff. And it's just a huge, tremendous responsibility that they take very, very seriously.
Third and short. Pitch it to Hayden Reed, who stretches for a first down. 3rd and 3 or less is where this team wants to be.
Every play, I mean, you're pretty much designed. It's the old, like, Woody Hayes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of deal. But when they stay on schedule, that's when their offense is as productive as any offense in the entire country. Problem is, you pass on first or second down, you get behind the sticks, and you put yourself in a really challenging spot on those third downs. And that's what happened last week against East Carolina, Matt. They just got behind the sticks, and certainly they're not a team built to play from behind.
Flipped out to Noah Short, their Swiss Army knife on offense.
Nice tackle there. Like Calvin Pitcher. Nice tackle.
Well, you mentioned it. Conversion rate on certain downs is the name of the game for Jeff Monken's offense. Last year they were tremendous. This year they've struggled on every down to convert at the rate that they want to. Certainly we saw that last week, going 2 for 15 on third down in their loss to East Carolina. 2nd and 8. Up the middle to Carson Smith. And he bullies ahead to make it about 3rd and 3.5 for West Point.
Which is what makes them really happy. You're in 3rd and 3 or less. That is a great opportunity for your offense to advance and keep the drive alive. And certainly, I mean, where you're at in the field, obviously 4-down territory. Heck, they go for it on 4th down, Matt, at their own 20-yard line sometimes. I mean, that's how aggressive they are and how by the book they play it in terms of the analytics.
They've gone for it 23 times on 4th down already this year. Hayden Reed will not make them go for it on 4th down. Nice pickup to move the chains, and West Point in plus territory.
And a really nice job by Hayden Reed. He's had 2 carries now on this drive. That one goes for the first down, right up the middle. Good vision and patience. But remember, a week ago, he had a really tough game against East Carolina in that first half. Dropped a couple of passes, one of which would have been probably a walk-in touchdown. And I think would have made the game go a little bit differently. But nonetheless, they don't convert, fall behind, and he wants to bounce back in a positive way, and certainly has here in this opening drive.
Goes back to Reed. Churns those legs forward. Picks up 4 on first down. Tackle made by Calvin Pitcher. It's a depleted UAB defense today. They're down 5 or 6 starters, mostly in the secondary, but they're missing a few up front for a rush defense that has struggled this year, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, rush defense, you talk about like where they're at in terms of the country. Out of 134 teams, they're 128. So, you know, they're giving up a ton of yards on the ground, and certainly for Army, they're looking forward to an opportunity here to pounce back with their ground attack.
Keeper for Coleman, trying to follow blockers, will pick up 2. They've already converted 2 third downs on this opening drive after converting just 2 all last week against East Carolina.
Have not put the ball in the air yet on this drive, Matt. Here on this 3rd and 5, do you see Dwayne Coleman putting the ball in the air, or do you say, yeah, Jeff Monken just wants to stay on script here with the 3rd and 5? Let's pick up 3 and then go for it on 4th down.
3 in the backfield with Coleman. He will keep after the fake to Samari Howard and makes it 4th and short.
And there is no question to even think about this. 4th and 2, you're about the 35-yard line of UAB. Analytics says go.
And Jeff Monken is a big analytics guy when it comes to 4th down.
Some confusion down there on the field.
Please set the play clock to 25 seconds. Started on my signal, as well as the game clock.
Jeff Monken by the book when it comes to going for it on 4th down. Rarely goes against what the book tells him. Goes for it here, and Coleman will pick it up to move the chains.
They're saying no, Matt, that they got the stop.
The ruling on the field is the runner would short the line to gain.
From the near sideline and says no, UAB football.
I think that should be reviewed immediately.
I don't know that I agree with the call. It was really quick that he comes in and says he was short. I thought that Coleman had the line to gain. This will definitely get looked at upstairs. But as it stands, this will be UAB football. Turnover on downs.
The Allstate Saturday Kickoff is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Welcome back to Birmingham, Alabama, where the spot has been overturned. They went out and measured it, and it is indeed a 1st down. We thought for sure a 1st down upon initial look up here in the booth. They ended up measuring it, and the football was over the line to gain by almost a full length.
The game clock will start on my signal.
Comes in, calls it short, is pointing the other direction, and then they mark it. I mean, well beyond the line to gain. That was kind of bizarre, the whole situation. Not seen that before.
So the drive continues for the Black Knights, who have now converted 2 third downs and a 4th down. Pitch it to short, and he is strung out by this depleted defense. Calvin Pitcher again from the linebacker spot. Now, Jeff Monken told us we're a bit of a desperate team right now, playing with some desperation. There's a sense of urgency with his group, particularly, Dustin, after what they did last year, a historic year for West Point, going undefeated in American Conference play. Starting this year 1-3. Riggs Bartage spinning out of a tackle. And now the first 3rd and long for Army on this opening drive.
Just going to say, this may be the first time we see Coleman put the ball in the air today. And the one player we haven't really talked about thus far in this drive is Noah Short, who may be the best athlete on the offense and one of their top playmakers, number 15. In a big spot like this, maybe he'd be looking to get the football in his hands.
They do pitch it to Short, who has blockers, and there's a first down. Good call, Dustin Fox. Good call, Cody Worley, their second-year offensive coordinator. Gain of 17.
You know, Noah Short, what an interesting story, too. You know, talking with Dwayne Coleman, I said, what's he like? He's like, well, he was actually a linebacker at prep school with me. And he's like, man, you're too good to be playing linebacker. We got to get the football in your hands. As you take a look at, you know, something's got to give here. You got an offense that's going to run for 300 and a defense that's trying to give up 300, it seems.
False start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Parker Pulaski with the false start. First penalty of the day for either team. It was funny. Dwayne Coleman said, I had to pitch off of Noah Short at prep school, and I didn't like that too much.
No, I mean, he literally said to him, he's like, dude, we need to get you on offense. And they did.
I'd say that's worked out pretty well.
Absolutely.
Coleman keeps, and he is met hard by the safety Vessel, transferring in this year from UNLV.
And Vessel was in there like a vessel. Goodness gracious. I mean, he shot the gap, and there was nowhere for Coleman to go. It looked like Coleman for a second was going to follow his lead blocker and have an opportunity, and then it just closes really fast. 14's in there in a hurry.
15th play of the Army drive. Winding towards the end of this first quarter in Birmingham. Coleman will pass for the first time today. Underneath to Howard. And he picks up a nice gain on second down. Very fast first quarter here in Birmingham. One offensive possession each. Army driving in the red zone when we come back. Coming up at 3:30 Eastern on ABC and the all-new ESPN app, 10th ranked Alabama hosting 16th ranked and undefeated Vanderbilt. Undefeated 5-0 for the first time since 2008, and then a rivalry renewed. Miami and Florida State. Later on tonight, a rematch of an epic upset from last year. Vandy's first win ever against an AP #1 team. Snapped a 23-game skid against Alabama. Back in Birmingham, Matt Schumacher, Dustin Fox with you. A 9-minute-plus drive for Army continues. Noah Short stretching it wide and is taken out at about the 5-yard line by Perry Fisher. Just short, it appears, of the line to gain. It'll bring up 4th and very short.
Pretty incredible block here, Matt. By Olawale, 11, right there. And you got to be careful because those blindside blocks are illegal, but he does it just enough to get his body in front. Not a knockout type of block, but a good job. And now it sets up here 4th and a little bit less than a yard.
Aiden Reed in the backfield. Instead, it's Coleman, and he just burrows behind that offensive line for their second 4th down conversion of the opening drive.
There's no need for a tush push here. This is just a great job by Coleman. Finds that little gap. All he needs is a little less than a yard. Ends up picking up about 2. This has been a very efficient drive by the Black Knights, Matt. They've converted 2 4th downs along the way. They've had the football now for over 10 minutes on this drive.
One of the longest drives in program history. 18th play upcoming. It's Reed, and he is in for a touchdown. West Point on the board first in Birmingham.
Well, Hayden Reed bounces back in a big way on this drive, has 3 carries, 1 for a first down, 1 for a touchdown. And after a tough week a week ago against East Carolina, Army's on top 6-0. Little window dressing here on this field goal attempt, or PAT attempt I should say.
Dawson Jones on for the extra point. Makes it 7-zip. Black Knights, just how you drew it up if you're Jeff Monken. 18 plays, 10 minutes and 34 seconds after a blocked field goal. It's West Point 7, UAB 0 in Birmingham. Dwayne Coleman leads the longest drive of West Point's season for a touchdown. 10 minutes, 34 seconds, 18 plays. A very clean football. Just the 1 penalty for 5 yards. And if you're a fan of West Point, that's the type of offense you want to see. Ball control, short conversion situations. They converted 2 4th downs and 2 3rd downs. And now it'll be up to UAB when we come back in Birmingham. Can they respond
Immediate timeout
with limited offensive drives in this first half? Super Bowl, was also a Pro Bowler in his 15 years as an NFL quarterback. Many job offers, but this was the one that intrigued him the most. Desired a challenge, desired an opportunity to build something new for a program that not that long ago thought they were going to lose the football program altogether.
Well, it was interesting. He said that when he retired and stepped away from the game, he golfed, what, 218 days in a year? And something about that just didn't make him happy, and so needed a challenge, and certainly this opportunity here at UAB presented a big-time challenge. And yeah, they haven't had the success in terms of the wins and losses, but he feels like he's making an impact on these young men's lives. And there's a flag on this play.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Well, they've had to replace a bunch this year. He lost a couple of their major contributors to Power 4 teams in the portal. They replaced all but 2 rather starters from last year. Of course, Jalen Kitna at quarterback and John Darius Morgan the right guard. Everybody else is brand new, either to the team or to their roles on this team. 2nd and 19 after the penalty. Direct snap. Goes to Isaiah Jacobs. And now 3rd and long for a UAB team that really can ill afford to not take advantage of limited offensive possessions.
I was just going to say, partner, as they just gave up about a 10-11 minute drive for a touchdown, if they go 3 and out here, this would be pretty devastating and pretty huge, really, for Army, a team that has been starting slow in the first halves of games thus far this season.
Pressure comes. Kitna didn't see it. Hit as he threw, and it's almost intercepted again by Casey Larkin. And it brings up 4th down, and the punt unit will come out for UAB.
Wow, that one was right in the breadbasket of Casey Larkin. He's had 2 now, Matt, that should have been intercepted. You can see pressure right there, of course, was on the outside by Jabril Williams, the corner. Cat blitz off the boundary side. Big stop.
False start. Kicking team. Not all 11 players were set at the time of the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Trent Dilfer's not going to like that. He's had a field goal blocked. He's had a false start on the punt unit. Special teams has been a strength of this team this year. But they have been much more penalized this season, certainly than West Point, and more than a third of FBS. Patrick Foley boots it away. Lloyd Benson, the third, will let it dribble to about Army zone 40. Last drive went 10 minutes, 34 seconds for a touchdown. Army's 2nd drive of the game when we return. That'll be in the 2nd half.
I was just going to say maybe the 3rd drive in the 3rd quarter is when we would see Helms get in there. But they've had an impressive start to this game. Defensively, special teams, and offensively, they put everything together.
Carry goes to Hayden Reed, and he pushes the pile near the 1st down marker. They'll give him a gain of 9. It's been a perplexing start to the year for this West Point team. Of course, that overtime loss to Tarleton State. Then they beat Kansas State, just the 5th time beating a Power 4 team in the Monken era. Down 21 to North Texas. Dwayne Coleman leads that comeback, ultimately falls short in overtime, and then 28-6 loss last week to East Carolina. Score not indicative of how competitive that game was. But Army got into a big hole early. They flipped the script so far in this 1st half.
Yeah, that game last week, Matt, it appeared like it could have been, you know, like 50-something to 0. The way that the game had started out, and I was watching the early part of the game. I come back later in the 2nd half, and Army all of a sudden found something on defense, and they just kept kind of chipping away and fighting, and that's what they do. I mean, they're never going to give up no matter what the score is. That's sort of how they play every single snap, is like 100%, and there's no give up in terms of the fight that they have.
Toss to Noah Short, glides past the tackler. Another chunk gain for a young man that's on pace to be the 1st in program history to rush for 1,000 yards and receive 1,000 yards plus. What a weapon in the backfield for this West Point offense. A lot of good football left to play today on our air. Big one coming up tonight on ABC. Miami, Florida State. First time in 9 years those 2 teams playing as ranked foes.
Pretty fun to see that again, isn't it? To see some of the blue bloods that were, you know, big time players in the 90s and early 2000s all of a sudden being ranked in the top 20 again. In top 10. It's pretty cool.
Here's the bull, Jake Rendina, used for short yardage situations, and he's got a 1st down. Five different Black Knights carried the football on their opening drive. They've done a nice job of spreading it around against this UAB pass rush.
Whatever it takes, and that's sort of like the MO of how they play. You know, there's a zillion guys that could have an opportunity to touch the football, and whoever does, they expect that player to go out and give it their best, and it doesn't matter. I mean, Noah Short, Hayden Reed, Coleman, whatever it takes. That is uncharacteristic of the Black Knights
False
offense.
start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The reigning third-team All-American right tackle Paulo Gennarelli with the infraction. Certainly with the way last year went for West Point, a school record 12 wins, American Conference title going undefeated. High expectations this year despite replacing 7 all-conference selections on both sides of the ball. Coleman, feeling the pressure, wisely got rid of it. UAB wanted a flag for intentional grounding. Now the officials are going to get together on this, and the flag does come in.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 10. It's a spot foul, loss of down. It's second down.
Carson Smith, 34, is the receiver they were looking to get the football to. He's blocking there at the line of scrimmage and then kind of leaks out late, but wasn't even really looking for the ball as Coleman was just trying to get rid of it and avoid the sack.
I feel like despite starting 1-3, all their goals are still ahead of them. Commander-in-Chief trophy, big part of that. Coleman pitches it. And a nice gain on the near side by David Clerk. Will make it third and more manageable, though the longest third down of the day for West Point.
Well, that 2nd and 23, you're thinking, what can we do here? Well, they picked 10. And so now 3rd and 13 becomes a little bit more manageable if you pick up half of it. Where you're at in the field, certainly an opportunity to go for it.
Had 2 4th down conversions on their opening touchdown drive. Third and 13, Coleman, a design run, and that is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by this UAB front. Playing depleted, it's Denver Warren and Kyle Mosley with the stop. And this is a situation where Jeff Monken will consult the book and they will punt the football.
Can't imagine too many scenarios where they would go for it on 4th and 11, even where they're at on the field. But man, they still chew about 4 minutes of clock.
James Wagonseller backs up, boots it end over end, lands inside the 5, and will trickle into the back of the end zone. A touchback for UAB. Opportunity to tie the game on their 3rd drive with Jalen Kitna when we return. Well, serving the local community has become a major point of emphasis for UAB football under Trent Dilfer this week. Number of Blazers volunteering at Bundles of Hope Diaper Bank in Birmingham, which allows local families in need to purchase diapers at a discount. And then on game day, similar to the My Cause, My Cleats in the NFL, the logo of each organization gets printed on the shoes of Trent Dilfer. He signs them after the game and then donates them back to the nonprofit organization. Very cool initiative. We had a chance to go in his office yesterday, Dustin, and he's got one heck of a sneaker collection. Rivals yours, actually.
Well, his are more meaningful and impactful than mine. I just spend a lot of money on StockX.
Pre-snap penalty here. Looks like it's going to be a false start on UAB.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, second down.
3rd penalty on the Blazers, so they will start behind the sticks here. And if you're just joining us, Alex Mortensen, the 3rd-year offensive coordinator, struggling to get something going for his offense. This is just their third drive of the game because Army possessed the ball for 10.5 minutes on their opening drive, won 18 plays for the only score of the game to this point. Here is Kitna trying to buy some time. He does, but a flag comes in. Ball is incomplete.
Well, there was a holding call that's going to get made here on the inside. Lebkowski, 68, excuse me.
Trent Dilfer wanted a face mask against his quarterback, Jalen Kitna.
He made that pretty apparent.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. Penalties declined. Third down.
Army declines the penalty to bring up 3rd and long for UAB.
Let's see if Coach Dilfer has a beef with the officials here.
Tough to totally tell on that angle. Here's the front view.
Correction. The holding is going to be a penalty half the distance and a replay 2nd down.
There was a hold and a face mask.
And they just corrected the call on the field. Army accepted the penalty, so it'll be 2nd and longer for UAB. And now Jalen Kitna in the shadow of his own end zone with Isaiah Jacobs in the backfield. 4-man rush. Kitna flushed. Long throw downfield and hits his man, but he was forced out of bounds. And an incomplete pass despite the effort by Iverson Hooks.
Yeah, this is not going to be a complete pass because he was pushed out of bounds, Matt. But
officials timeout for
the arm strength of Jalen Kitna to be able to fling this football on the run. I mean, the football just pops out of his hand like a missile. I mean, goodness gracious, he just can really whip that football around and
completely off platform across his body.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very difficult throw to make. Sort of defies body mechanics.
Meanwhile, Iverson Hooks slow to get up. They can ill afford to lose another wide receiver. Already down their top target, Corey Milliner. Good to see him jog off under his own power. Haven't had an opportunity much today to see those types of throws from Jalen Kitna, but talking with Trent Dilfer, he told us there's not a throw he can't make on the football field.
Well, and he also believes that he can make every throw, which is sort of half the battle too. Like if you see a throw, you got to believe you can make it, then you go execute it, you put it all together, and you've got a heck of a quarterback. And you know, for a young man who's only started, 12 games, pretty impressive.
3rd and 22. Kitna with a clean pocket underneath to his tight end, Elijah Lag. Not even close to enough to move the chains, and the punt unit is back out for the Blazers.
Well, I must say, Army playing some inspired football here today to start this game. An early morning kickoff. You always wonder how our team's going to approach that. Well, early mornings aren't really a problem for the Black Knights. I mean, these guys are up. They're up at the crack of dawn, doing more important things than football.
Morning formation begins before 7 a.m.
Yeah, so they're ready to go here. 11 a.m. local kick. 11:05 roughly.
Foley boots it away. Lloyd Benson the third. Inside his own 50. He fumbles the football, but it's recovered at the 45-yard line by West Point.
Either that was timed up absolutely perfect by UAB, or they missed a kick-catch interference. Nonetheless, Army does fall on the football. That was A.J. Brown, the safety, who gets there
on the field was
right
a must. Return recovered by the kicking team. 1st down UAB.
I mean, that's perfect timing.
And if you heard that announcement in the stadium, it was incorrect. They said 1st down UAB. It's recovered by West Point. It's 1st down Black Knights. And so they avoid disaster. Turnovers have been a big issue. First 4 games of the season, they've had 7 turnovers, which is 2 less than they had all of last year.
And you would have to just assume that those turnovers are indicative of their record. I mean,
no doubt.
To have 7 in the first 4 ball games has tremendously
the return team
their
recovered the football. It's Army's ball. First down.
Well, it's not their brand of football either.
No, their brand of football is clean, ball control, time of possession, no penalties. And we do see a new quarterback in there. We expected it on about the 3rd drive of the game, which we thought could come in the second half. But now here we are in the second quarter, and we will get the chance to see Cale Helms.
On the ground goes to Breaks Bartosh, who really exploded in the game against North Texas. Had that 75-yard touchdown run. Running was the name of the game, and Cale Helms start against K-State. Got that start because of the ankle injury to Dwayne Coleman. Broke a program record with 41 carries in that win against the Wildcats on the road, nonetheless. He will keep it here. Following blockers. Helms with a seam. A flag is down in the West Point backfield.
Personal foul. Chop block. Offense. Number 71 and 74. 15-yard penalty. Replay second down.
That's both the right guard and the right tackle. Generelli and Williams. Much to the dismay of Jeff Monken and his staff. They are giving it to these officials right now. Did not agree with the call. And that will back West Point way up for this second down.
So 71-74 on the right side. That's Williams and Generali. And they're going to call it when you go high-low, and you got 71 going high, 74 going low. I mean, to me, it seems like that's kind of an easy call, and it's going to really back him up. And the thing about that, the Army offense, is they're susceptible for those high-lows, and so they have to be really cognizant of it, because if they do call it, I mean, you're backed up 10 yards, and now we're at 3rd and 16.
And they're susceptible as well on 2nd and long, 3rd and longs. Jeff Monken told us teams are able to defend us differently when we're trailing or when we're set up on 3rd and long.
Well, they don't have the bodies to play from 3rd and 13, 3rd and 16. They can't protect, and they don't run an offense that obviously produces those chunk plays.
Short in motion. Helms keeps. Flag comes flying in at midfield after the tackle by Calvin Pitcher. It's a hold on West Point.
Holding. Offense. Number 44. That penalty's declined. It's 4th down.
More penalized in this first half than we're accustomed to seeing for the 6th least penalized team in the country.
Yeah, this is uncharacteristic again for this Army offense. Take a look there on the outside. It's Lowski, 44, gets called. UAB will gladly decline and try to do something here with the remaining 3 minutes and change left in the first half. Play clock winding down too.
Caleb Brown back to receive this at his own 10. Fair catch after the 47-yard punt by James Wagenseller. Time now for our Fayetteville College football update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Memphis 5-0 for the first time since 2019. We were just at North Texas last week. 5-0 for the first time since 1959. And
we have a very top-heavy American
no doubt
conference this year, and it is going to be so much fun, Matt, to watch this thing unfold.
Navy 4-0 to start the season in back-to-back years for the first time since the 70s. Big game today against Air Force. Meanwhile, Jalen Kitna, talked about him a bunch in the open, and rightfully so. One of the top slingers in the country this year, has just thrown for 46 yards, however, in the opening half. Javon Jackson still on his feet, out across the 30-yard line, and Javon Jackson with an explosive gain of 26 yards.
Well, that is maybe something that gets this UAB offense going. They need a chunk play on a first down. They do. As you mentioned, Matt, it gets them out of that shadow of their goalpost, and they're going to go a little tempo here.
Back to Jackson. This time dragged down after a gain of 2. Certainly this offense, Dustin, does have the ability to throw different things at you with tempo and looks and motions.
But Trent Dilfer does want to be 50-50. He wants to be as balanced as he possibly can be. You know, we were chatting with him yesterday in his office, and he was talking about his days at Lipscomb and how they won a couple of state titles being 50-50 run versus pass.
Second and 9. Play action. Kitna moving the pocket, floats it just over the head of Brandon Hawkins Jr. And now 3rd and 9 upcoming for the Blazers.
This ball looked like it was going to just sail out of bounds, and it sort of just has like a topspin like in tennis, right? It comes down, it goes up, and it comes down. Could have been caught. Could have been caught right there.
Over under on the tennis references in our broadcast.
Oh, we already hit one. That's a win.
In the first half. Big 3rd and 8 here for UAB's offense, which has done very little so far in this game. Kitna takes a shot, has an open man, and is caught inside the 20 for a first down. Iverson Hooks with the biggest play of the game.
That's the 2-minute timeout.
48-yard reception. UAB in the red zone. And knocking on the door of a game-tying score in Birmingham. Goliath won the first battle. Herrera has done a lot of smack talking. A lot of folks around the country will be tuned into that one. Meanwhile, after 2 chunk plays, UAB in the red zone. Wildcat for Nate Rogers, running left, and a flag comes in behind the play.
There's a flag on the play.
They bring Rogers in. It's not really. It looks like a Wildcat, but he's
Holding.
a quarterback.
Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
He's not thrown a pass yet this year, but they love him in these red zone packages, Dustin, where he can do so many different things with his legs.
Well, and you want to reward the young man, too, because he was running the scout team offense as, you know, wearing the number 10 jersey, pretending to be Dwayne Coleman this week. And you can make the argument he did a pretty darn good job, and they want to get him more involved in this offense. I think he's going to be a star.
1st and 20, a carry to Jackson. Wiggles past a couple of West Point tacklers. Brought down by Cole Seawright, and a timeout taken.
Timeout. Army. Please put 1:30 on the game clock. 1:30.
It is Jeff Monken and West Point taking their first time out of the half. Well, the WNBA Finals in action. Asia Wilson and the Aces won Game 1 in a thriller last night. We'll have Game 2 of a best-of-7 series tomorrow afternoon. Mercury trying to tie it up in 1 apiece. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. What's your mentality here if you're Trent Dilfer and UAB? You do not get the football, by the way, to start the second half.
You're thinking, we've got to get a touchdown. You know, you've already had a field goal block, so you're probably a little bit nervous about your field goal unit. And you're thinking, goodness gracious, if we don't score here, well, Army's going to get the football. And there's a chance they could have that for 10 minutes. So, obviously, they're looking to get in the end zone.
Kitna missed on a screen set up for Caleb Brown. Rare miss for Kitna.
He missed, sorry Matt to cut you off, but Gavin Shields, the outside linebacker, was blitzing off the right side and created the pressure. That's why Kitna had to force the football out, and it was so errant.
So 3rd and 14 for a quarterback that's been top 15 in the country this year in completion percentage. Jacobs in the backfield. Pressure from West Point. Kitna feels it. Complete underneath to Ferguson, fighting for the end zone. He's short, but has enough to move the chains. It's goal to go for the Blazers.
This is where Kitna is at his best. I mean, he's able to look off to his left. Nothing there. Nothing there. Scans the middle of the field and finds Ferguson coming back on a deep dig right in that soft zone coverage. And then he ends up picking up the first down. 1st and goal here for the Blazers.
First catch of the year for the transfer from Florida International. And West Point burns another timeout. What a difference a drive makes. UAB's offense really lackluster over their opening pair of drives, but we've now seen 3 plays of 18 yards or more on this.
I also find it interesting that Army's calling timeouts here. Their offense is not built to go the length of the field in any sort of, a minute and change. Like, are they trying to get the football with some time on the clock? Because here's the thing. UAB is going to try to get the football back,
no doubt,
another time.
With all 3 timeouts.
Correct. So, in turn, we'll see what happens here in the next couple snaps. But I do find it fascinating to see the final minute 20 and how this will play out with their timeouts.
Fake it to Jackson. Throw to the end zone is caught by Xavier Daisy. First touchdown of the season for the sophomore. And it's an extra point away from a tie game in Birmingham. Jonah DeLonga knocks it up at 7 apiece.
Just an isolated route on the outside. You sort of like max protect, you fake the little RPO, and you're running the slant. It's a one-man route to Daisy. And Daisy has been asked to step up in a big way with the absence of Corey Milliner, who is not with the team currently. And so because of that, Daisy's had to step up, come in to play a little bit more. And for a young man, Matt, whose only FBS offer out of high school was UAB, pretty special to see him sort of coming into his own here in this Blazers offense.
And on the other side, now if you're Jeff Monken, you do have 1 timeout. We'll see how aggressive they are, having used 2 timeouts with UAB in the red zone over the last 30 seconds.
Gotta think that if you're Army, you would just like to be able to get a first down and not give the ball back to UAB here, because UAB's got all 3 timeouts. And I just can't see Army trying to throw the football. You're going to get the football to start the 3rd quarter.
Be interesting to see which quarterback they bring out. Coleman started the first 2 drives. It was Helms on the last. Here's Lloyd Benson, the 3rd. Out across the 30. And we will see with 1 minute and 10 left in the first half. 1 timeout for West Point. It is Cale Helms coming out at quarterback. Not the better passer of the 2. That would be Dwayne Coleman. Does have the ability to throw it around a little bit, though. We did see that against K-State. Completed 7 passes in the win. He will take it himself, and he is out of the tackle. Breaks a couple more, and somehow picked up positive yardage despite the efforts of Kyle Mosley in the backfield.
And Army here now going with a little bit of tempo.
Looking to air it out here. Helms takes a shot downfield, and it's out of play.
Okay, now things get a little interesting here.
Could that be a hold on the defense?
Well, if it is, that's a huge penalty and changes everything.
Prior to the
here
pass,
in the first half.
holding, defense, number 29, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
To Cy McDaniel, their starting nickel, whistled for the hold. It's the 6th penalty on UAB, and now all of a sudden the ball near midfield for West Point with 44 seconds and a timeout left.
And surprisingly, you can see that Coach Monken is trying to be aggressive here and saying, hey, maybe we can go get another 25, 30 yards here with 44 seconds and potentially attempt a field goal.
Helms with a clean pocket, now flushed. Room to run if he wants. He will take it himself.
That's too easy. I mean, UAB just gives up, 15 yards right there. He gets out of bounds, stops the clock. They still have a timeout. This is going to be very interesting for the Black Knights. They're cooking here.
Steps up, had the takeoff, scoots out of a couple of arm tackles. Will we see a timeout here from Jeff Monken?
Well, they better go quick if they don't call timeout. They're not looking like it, and boy, a lot of time is ticking off the clock.
Quick throw is incomplete, intended for the tight end Parker Pulaski. Not the worst thing that could have happened there. Stops the clock with 17 seconds to go.
All right, so 3rd and 6. You can obviously still work the middle of the field. You've got the 1 timeout, so your goal here is really to pick up like 5 more yards and just give a chance for Dawson Jones, the kicker. He's kind of 50-50 in this range, but on the season has hit
Timeout
from 40.
UAB, 30-second timeout.
Well, when we asked Jeff Monken yesterday, what's your comfortability factor with him from 50 plus? He regularly hits from 50 in practice. With the win, they feel like they can stretch him to maybe 55. Be interesting to see if Dawson Jones gets a chance here to end the first half.
Well, from this spot, Matt, it'd be about a 53-yard. I think if you're Coach Monken, you'd like to have it under 50.
Get a first down.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Matt. You can run the ball here and then call timeout with 2 seconds on the clock, and then just kick it to go to halftime.
Back under center is Helms, and now he'll go out of the gun.
In fact, I probably would just run the ball here.
He will, following Carson Smith. That near the first down sticks. Jeff Monken comes running over to the side judge to call a timeout with 10 ticks left in the opening half.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. There's 10 seconds. He can call timeout. He can bring his guys over and say, listen, we're going to go for this. We're going to run the football and try to pick up 5 yards and then quick spike and then field goal attempt. So that's where that analytics really comes into play here. He's talking to his guys on the sidelines. They got the book and they run the numbers and all these things instead of kicking it here. And that's why he called the timeout with 11 seconds as opposed to letting it run all the way down.
He's been using the championship analytics book for the last 10 seasons. Told us he rarely goes against it, and whenever he has gone against it, he's regretted it. It has been huge for him on deciding when to go for it on 4th down, when to not. And this appears to be a clear-cut decision on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the first down, the clock stops. So you've got plenty of time to get up and set and then spike the football.
Helms pushing forward, appears to have more than enough for a first down. Now they'll hurry to the line to clock this. And now a much more manageable field goal for their first-year starting kicker, Dawson Jones.
Well, whether they make the kick or not,
5 seconds.
just want to say bravo on the execution for all that. I mean, that's something that you would expect players at West Point to be able to accomplish, and they did a great job right there.
45-yard attempt here for Jones. It would be a career long.
Not much wind. It's dead center.
Clean hold, clean snap, clean kick. It is straight through the middle. 45 yards for Dawson Jones to take the lead. But a flag is down after the kick.
I also wonder how that play took 2 seconds. There was 4 seconds on the clock.
I agree
They
with you.
kicked a 45-yard field goal, and there's still 2 seconds on the clock. Does that make sense?
The result of the play is a successful field goal. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Army, number 72. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So the field goal is good. You would think we'll have a return here to end the first half for UAB, whose kick return unit has taken one to the house so far this year. Did so for 95 yards against Akron.
It was right in the middle of that scrum.
Lane Parks, the junior offensive lineman.
Yeah, and he was. It was almost like watching, you know, like a college wrestling match. He was just trying to get low and almost like tackle the defensive lineman, and then the official ends up getting ran into. Makes it an easy call. But now, because of that penalty, Matt, and because there is still 2 seconds remaining on the clock, which still is beyond me, they're going to have an opportunity to return this, as opposed to typically seeing it go out of the back of the end zone.
Anderson Britton will kick this off for the Black Knights. And it's a low squibber. Picked up by Isaiah Jacobs. Nice return out to the 45. That will conclude the opening half. Army with a score in the first quarter and a score to end the first half. Takes a 3-point lead into the locker room, and they will get the football coming out of the locker rooms.
Well, it's big for Army. I mean, Army's going to come out here in the second half with some momentum, but also on the other side of things, UAB, a really impressive drive there to end the second quarter to put them on the board, and not much going in the first quarter in the way of points, but we got 17 in the second.
Each team had just one offensive possession in the opening quarter,
which was 23 minutes, by the way.
Impressive. West Point went 18 plays, 10.5 minutes for their opening score. UAB responds, but the Black Knights on a 45-yarder by Dawson Jones carry a 3-point lead into the break in Birmingham.
In terms of time of possession already in the first half alone, so they would love, Matt, another 18-play, 11-minute drive right now. So we'll see, and we'll see who is under center for the Black Knights, as they did go with the 2-quarterback rotation in the first half.
And it'll be Dwayne Coleman, who missed the Kansas State game with an ankle injury, then came off the bench against North Texas, led that 21-point comeback, which ultimately fell short in overtime. Hands it off to Hayden Reed, who was excellent in the first half for West Point. Got a lot of carries. Reed had 7 for 40 yards, and that makes it second and on schedule for West Point. coming on the give. That is stuffed at the line of scrimmage for a UAB defense that's playing without a pair of starters on the defensive line, including, of course, their anchor Nigel Tate out for the season. Lost him in fall camp. They're depleted all over the place, Dustin. So impressive that they only gave up 10 points in the first half.
My board has arrows going every which direction, guys crossed off left and right. It's kind of a mixing and matching of players to just fill the voids for this UAB defense.
3rd and 4 for Army. Carry up the middle to Carson Smith. Maybe got a yard. Now does Army think about going for it here?
I don't think you would in this situation. 4th and about 3.
And the punt unit will come on for Jeff Monken.
If it were less than 2, I think he would have thought about it. But no, it's going to be a big stop here for UAB to get the football back 3 and out.
2 punts for Wagenseller in the first half. Both went for 40 plus. Caleb Brown back to receive for UAB. End over end kick here. Bounces inside the 30 and takes a few more West Point rolls. Punt to 43, and now Jalen Kitna will come out for UAB, who orchestrated a much better drive to close the first half for UAB.
Well, the first 3 drives of the game, they had 55 yards. In that final drive, they had 90 yards in 8 plays, and of course led to that touchdown throw and catch. Kitna to Daisy.
And you talked about seeing some bigger plays from UAB. Certainly West Point's defense has been prone to giving up the big play. 18 plays allowed this season of 20 yards or more. Saw 2 of them on the touchdown drive to end the first half for the Blazers.
Well, if anything, I'd want to be throwing the opposite direction of where number 20 is at in a white jersey.
There's Javon Jackson, who was effective in the first half. Bounces it outside. Jackson wrestled down in plus territory.
Well, there you go, Matt. Another chunk play for the UAB Blazers offense. Exactly how the last drive started for them at the end of the second quarter. And there you can see just a good job, good speed, vision by Jackson, the former FCS All-American.
There is Isaiah Jacobs. Jackson with nearly 75 yards rushing in this game. You talked about it. Trent Dilfer would prefer to be more 50-50 and even lean a little more run than pass if he had his ideal offense. Some of the games they've been in have not lended themselves to that. Down big 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, for example. Kitna threw it 51 times in the loss to a top 15 ranked Tennessee Volunteers team. 2nd and 7. Pumps, spins, gets out of a tackle, floats it downfield. It is incomplete. Intended for Antonio Ferguson. How did Kitna escape that?
Well, not only did he escape the near sack, Matt, it was a kind of a desperation throw that turned into a perfect throw. I mean, this absolutely should have been caught by Ferguson. He drops this right in the bucket. Look at this thing, comes right in his hands. Should have been caught in the red zone for UAB, but just a tremendous job by improvisation by Kitna.
Rush up the middle on 3rd and 7. This is a huge play opportunity for Isaiah Jacobs, upended at the 20-yard line. Another gain on this drive of 20 plus. That went for 23 and a first down.
Love that play design. It was set up absolutely beautifully by UAB. A little bit of a tunnel screen. They send out Jacobs. He comes right back in, pivots that foot, and then he's got really a convoy down the field, led by Caleb Perez, 75. I was actually sort of surprised he didn't score a touchdown. He had so much wide open lane and just allowed Army to make the tackle at the 20.
Fake it to Jackson. Kitna rolling.
Smart just threw it away. That play had nothing going from the start.
And he had Jaden Mays in his grill, the returning starter at corner. Much different feel to this UAB offense their last two drives. Third-year OC Alex Mortensen. Well, as he felt like they had enough weapons to really be an explosive offense in this league this year, both at running back and out wide, and of course what he said, a future NFL starter at quarterback. There's Javon Jackson, spins out of a tackle, out across the 15. Gain of 7 will make it 3rd and short.
Helmet comes off of Jack Latour, one of the best defensive linemen of Army. He's got to come out of the game on a big 3rd and 2. UAB's not Army, but this is a situation where in 3rd and 2, you probably got two downs to get the 2 yards.
All kinds of pressure. Getting a floats, and it's just out of the reach of Javon Jackson. Will they send the kick unit on? It appears they will. Surprised here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
I've already had 1 kick blocked in this game.
Well, and that's partly the reason why I'd be a little bit hesitant to take the 3 points here. Maybe he's thinking, you know what, we got off the field 3 and out. For us to drive all the way down here and not come away with something would probably be a bit devastating to that sideline. So they're going to try to take the 3.
No good. No good after Evan Bishop struggled with the hold. The second miss for Jonah DeLonga.
I think he may have
Last year's
slipped,
American
Matt.
Conference Specialist of the Year, and he did slip. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Gorgeous afternoon for football in Birmingham, Alabama, home of the UAB Blazers. Down 3 because of some miscues. Had that field goal blocked in the first half, Dustin, and then going to that last commercial break, a slip by Jonah DeLonga. He's now missed 2 in the game. He had missed 1 all year coming in.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a questionable call to even attempt it, as you'd be a little bit concerned. Wide open, Matt.
It is Samari Howard hurdling a man out across the 40-yard line. Most explosive play of the day for the Army Black Knights. It goes for 41 and a first down.
And for somebody on the team who just absolutely brings the juice every single day, Samari Howard comes up with a big catch, great throw on the outside. It was Gully in coverage down the field. Wow, that is a huge turn of events.
He was a 40-point 300 hurdler in high school. Terrific athlete, and he shows it on that massive gain. Here's Cale Helms under center for this second drive of the second half. Army West Point still trying to figure out their quarterback situation, who gives them the best chance to do what they do best, and that's control the clock, keep the football.
Well, if I can just give my assessment, I do think that right now Cale Helms gives them the best opportunity to run the football from the quarterback position. I just don't see Coleman being quite himself in terms of his health.
There's Hellmans, stuck by Jeremy Vessel, just short of the line to gain. To your point, of course, Coleman dealing with that ankle injury. Told us he felt fine yesterday, but doesn't quite look like he's got the same pop off the ankle.
Feel fine, but to be able to have that burst, that twitchiness to him as a runner, he's tried a couple times design quarterback runs, Matt, where he just can't plant off that injured ankle.
Helms shoves forward for a first down. Well, Army's run the ball for 160 yards in this game. We thought that would be an interesting stat to monitor coming in. They ran for over 400 yards against UAB last year. Now, obviously, the personnel is a lot different on both sides. But UAB's rush defense, like last year, again this year, has struggled. Carson Smith on the first down carry and carries a few tacklers with him. Has put on nearly 35 pounds since coming to campus. Showed on that run.
Yeah, no doubt carried a couple of UAB Blazer defenders for, I don't know, 6 yards.
That's not a guy you want to tackle as a DB, is it?
No, it's funny now that I'm you know, in my 40s and I look at these guys and see like how well they're put together. I'm like, no, I don't want to tackle him. I felt that way with Isaiah Jacobs, who we got a chance to meet yesterday afternoon for UAB. My goodness, he is built like a Greek god.
Another stick-moving run for Carson Smith after a 41-yard connection between Helms and Samari Howard. Helms will keep it. Flag comes in from the side judge.
There's a flag on the play.
And there's an Army player down as well near the 10-yard line.
Offside. Defense. Number 59. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down. Injury timeout on the field.
With the injury timeout, we'll step aside in Birmingham. Army driving in the red zone. Trying to shed James Smyrie. Here he is on the right side of your screen.
Well, he already has that big knee brace on the right knee, which prevents it from kind of twisting and turning. And as he plants on that right leg, I think that's where he came up a little gimpy.
Came into the game banged up, had been sick this week, missed some practice time. Hopefully we'll see Fortner back in the game. His twin brother, a captain on the defensive side, Caleb Fortner. Meanwhile, after the penalty, 1st and 5 inside the 15 for Army. Big game for the Black Knights. This stretch of their schedule gives them a really good chance to get back to 500 if they can find a way to come away with a win here. Their first road game at UAB since joining the league in 2023. Rendina on the carry, has a first down, and it's goal to go for the Black Knights. Take on Charlotte at home next. And then have a big date with Tulane looming in a couple of weeks. Remember, it was those two that met for the American Conference Championship game last year. This is where Army has been so good this season in the red zone with goal to go. It's Helms stretching for a touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown of the young season, and Army extends the lead midway through the 3rd quarter.
Just a quarterback almost like a stretch play on the outside, and it's a keeper. Good blocking, and Helm does the rest. Easy touchdown run for the young man who had 41 carries against Kansas State in their victory earlier this season. Crazy to think that UAB, they've missed 2 field goals, so they're about to be down, assuming this is made, 10 points. And those opportunities, I mean, they could easily have 3 touchdowns on the board. Instead, they find themselves trailing by 10 here midway through the 3rd quarter from Birmingham.
Number 18, Florida, all coming up later on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. Back in Birmingham, Matt Schumacher, the former Ohio State captain, Dustin Fox. This is returned by Solomon Beebe. Makes a couple of men miss, loses the football. Who's on top of it? Army says they have it. Do they? Yes, they do.
The rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Army. First down.
First turnover of the game, and it goes to the Black Knights.
And it couldn't come at a worse time for UAB. They just had a great drive down the field. They miss a field goal on 4th and 2 in the red zone, and then Army goes right down. They score. Ensuing kickoff. Bam.
And it's the kicker, Anderson Britton, who recovered the fumble.
Wow. What a tremendous job by Britton just to be right there. Johnny on the spot.
Helms slips. Well, Army last year was exceptional in terms of turnover margin. This year, not quite as much. They have those 7 offensive turnovers, 2 less than they had all of last year. But they have been very good under Jeff Monken since 2016 when winning the turnover battle. Here is Noah Short on a toss to the left. Will make it 3rd and medium.
It's a nice pickup on 2nd down, because now it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, excuse me, and you're right, kind of back in it to go for it on 4th down. Get 2 or 3 here, put yourself in a position to keep the drive alive.
Short in motion. Helms following blockers. Stopped at about the 21-yard line. You would think this is go for it territory for Jeff Monken. I stand corrected.
I was holding my thought because I was looking at the sidelines to see what they were going to do. And just kind of looking at the chains. I mean, it's 4th and 3. I promise you, there's Sam Nuskin, the book guy.
He follows Jeff Monken around all game, making sure that Jeff knows what the analytics are on 4th down, given the score, time left, where they are on the field.
I think if that were 4th and 2 or less, they'd be going for it.
Chance here to make it a 2-touchdown game, and a timeout will be called.
Clock was running down, Matt.
Timeout. Army, 30 seconds in length.
Play clock was at about 2 seconds. Monken just runs down to the official and says, we got to get a timeout.
It'll be a 37-yarder for Dawson Jones, who's already hit 1 in this game from 45. This one will be from 37. Big opportunity here for the Black Knights to go up 2 touchdowns. They've trailed so often this year.
They had another conversation, Matt, and they decided to Bring back out the offense.
Maybe Jeff Monken going against the book here.
Will he be kicking himself if he's going against the book?
I see what you did there. 4th and 3. Howard in motion. Helms will scramble out of the way. Now he's going to float it to the end zone, and it's over the head of Noah Short. Interesting play design, and interesting to see Jeff Monken change his mind after he wheeled the field goal unit out. Big stop for UAB's defense.
That's got to be a huge momentum changer for UAB. You fumble the ball on that kickoff return, almost assuredly gives points to Army, you would think, right? A weird play design on 4th and 3. It was like a hesitation, allowing Helms to just kind of feel out the defense to see if there's anything there to go for the run, and instead he pulls it back, takes a shot down the field. We just said it. We're talking about going against the book. Are you going to go for the book, against the book? Are you going to be kicking yourself if you don't get it? Well, I think we know the answer, although we don't know what the book said.
Javon Jackson tackled by Andon Thomas, their leading tackler in back-to-back seasons. Well, Jalen Kitna today, number one, hasn't had the opportunities to throw it around like we've seen, and number two has been well defended by Army West Point. Came into the day 5th in the country, averaging 314 yards a game. So far today, 135, and there's movement up front before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
8th penalty today on the Blazers. And it goes against their transfer tight end, Antonio Ferguson. And with so many of these penalties, Jalen Kitna and his offense have been behind schedule often this afternoon against the Black Knights defense. Pressure. Kitna evades. Is intercepted. Picked off by Gavin Shields. Returning inside the 15, and the 2nd turnover for the Black Knights.
Well, Army's doing a really nice job, Matt, of playing everything from the top down. And they're playing a lot of zone coverage. Looked like quarters coverage here on this play. Watch 14 right here. He's going to drop out into the flat, and I just don't think Kitna even sees him. Doesn't even see him. He's trying to find the outside target there, Caleb Brown, the former Ohio State transfer.
Hayden Reed right up the gut for a gain of 5 or 6 on 1st down. Just the 4th interception this year by Jalen Kitna, and the 1st of the season for Gavin Shields.
Think about this, Matt. UAB, they've committed 8 penalties. They've turned the ball over twice. They've missed 2 field goals. It's hard to win that way.
A lot of miscues for the Blazers today. Against a Black Knights team that traditionally wouldn't lose games like this, where they're ahead in the turnover battle, they're ahead in the penalty battle. Of course, last week,
they're 53-4, Matt, since 2016, talking about Army.
When winning the turnover battle, and last week's loss to ECU was that 4th loss when winning the turnover battle since 2016. It's Helms pushing the pile. Spot is short of the goal line.
But it's a 1st down inside the 2-yard line, Matt, and this is a good percentage for Army to have a chance to score a touchdown. 1st and goal from the 1.
this clock is going to wind to the fourth quarter. How about the Black Knights defense? I beg your pardon.
That's the end of the third quarter.
No, it is going to wind to the fourth quarter. Triple zeros on the scoreboard here in Birmingham. 2 turnovers. Our Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. And of course, we'll have Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Monday Night Football, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. First play back to start the fourth quarter. A rushing attempt for the Army Black Knights falls just short of the end zone. And if you're just joining us, great starting field position after an interception by Gavin Shields. 2 turnovers forced by the Black Knights in that third quarter. 1 on special teams, 1 on defense. Now a chance to really put UAB in a hole here at the start of the fourth quarter. Jake Rendina in the backfield. It'll be Helms taking it in for his second touchdown of the day.
A lot of bodies somewhere in that scrum as Helms or Redina is actually pushing there like the West Point tush push. Nonetheless, looking to make it a 24/7 ball game here.
Dawson Jones does just that. What a swing after Army led out of halftime 10-7 as we take a look at today's Good Hands play brought to you by Allstate.
Gavin Shields, outside linebacker, comes up with a huge interception. Just the 4th of the season thrown by Jalen Kitna. Turns into an offensive player here, nearly takes us back for a pick 6. Doesn't matter, the Black Knights offense comes out and finishes off the drive. They get points off of that turnover and now have a 24-7 lead. And you can see the game summary. A couple of missed field goals by UAB. A lot of penalties, a lot of miscues here in this ball game.
Just the 3rd interception of the season by this Army defense that ranked top 10 in the nation last year with 18 interceptions. Anderson Britton at the fumble recovery on the last kickoff. Solomon Beebe will return it inside his own 10. And now we take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Capital One. Your #1 Ohio State Buckeyes in action tonight against Minnesota.
Prime time against the Gophers. The big one, though, I'm looking forward to as we travel home later this afternoon. Hurricanes and Seminoles, 7:30.
How do you see that shaking out?
You know what's been most impressive to me on this season, honestly, through the first month of the year, has been Miami's defense. So many people were hype about that offense and Carson Beck, but man, their defense has been, to me, unstoppable.
Kitna flushed, evades a tackler, and it's caught across the line to gain by Iverson Hooks, who's been his favorite target today, a pickup of 14.
And now they've got to really go with some tempo. You're down 17 points. This is a heck of a throw and catch. You can see how he just has the ability, talking about Kitna, with some awkward arm angles to create some really, really whip on that football.
Hooks with 3 catches for 64 yards. Check it down to Solomon Beebe. Makes a couple of men miss. Beebe out across the 50. 2 chunk plays on this drive for UAB. They certainly have the ability to score quickly, to move with tempo. Saw that on their final drive of the first half, scoring the lone points of the day for the Blazers. Pressure off the edge. Kitna got it away quickly to Xavier Daisy. Well, the Black Knight defense has given up just 1 touchdown now in the last 6 quarters. They went the final 3 quarters against ECU without allowing a score, and they went the first 3 quarters in this game just allowing that 1 touchdown. Playing with a big lead here in the 4th quarter. And movement before the snap. This is going to be the 9th penalty of the day on the Blazers.
Offense, number 0. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And now it's 2nd and 11. Kitna out wide to Daisy. You mentioned it in the first half. He has become one of the top targets on the outside with the absence of Corey Milliner really stepping into his own. 2nd year on campus. 5 wide receivers. Kitna is taken down. There was a receiver in the area. It was Brandon Hawkins. Dylan Stowers with the pressure.
They tried to run a similar tunnel screen like they ran on their last drive. It was very successful. This time, the Black Knights were all over it, and really because Kitna is able to throw that football away, there's no intentional grounding. Had he been sacked, man, I don't know what you do, but now you can still have an opportunity to go for this on 4th and 4.
Biggest
really
play
no
in the
options
game for UAB here.
Absolutely, there's no options. You have to go for this. You may not get the ball back.
The way West Point's offense has been moving it. 4th and 4. 3-man rush. Kitna over the middle. It's caught for a 1st down. And it's J.C. Sibley, their number 2 tight end, with his first catch of the day, a pickup of 12.
Just impressive, you know, Kitna, just the way he surveys the field, and the ball just comes out so stinking quick out of his hands, man. It's fun to watch.
Going through his progressions behind the intended receiver, Iverson Hooks. Well, you asked Trent Dilfer what makes him special. He said there's few quarterbacks in the country, if any, doing what he does at the line of scrimmage.
He's able to make checks, get you in good plays, out of bad plays, and he just knows where everybody's supposed to be. He's a really smart kid, and he's super talented.
Kitna underneath and almost intercepted again by Gavin Shields.
That was a dangerous throw. He was late on that one, and he didn't have quite the zip that he typically has on his passes. It might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage. Hard to tell. I think Jack Bosom, 99, is the one who gets a fingertip on it, and yeah, that should have been caught.
A couple of near interceptions in this game for Army's secondary. 3rd and 10. Kitna on an out route. Hit Solomon Beebe. Looked like he might have stepped out of bounds, but he did not. Got another yard because of it. And now they'll have to convert another 4th down. This might have gotten buzzed down.
Well, he did step out.
Set the game clock to 11:11 and start on my signal.
Down 17.
Well, it's interesting because in most cases you may take the points here because you are down 17 points. But with the 2 missed kicks already, you just can't do it.
4th and 6. The 1 conversion on 4th down today was earlier on this drive. Army rushes 4. Kitna under pressure. It is incomplete, intended for Hawkins, but a flag comes in.
Yeah, they're going to get a flag on 14, Gavin Shields, who nearly came up with the interception on the previous play. I don't know if they're going to call unnecessary roughness or targeting or what. We'll have to sort this out. And the most important thing is the young man who's down on the field.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 14. That play is under further review.
So a lot going on in that play. Obviously, if you're UAB, you're hopeful that Brandon Hawkins can get up under his own power after this hit. All the indicators are there, leading with the crown, defenseless wide receiver.
Yeah, you just confirmed that right now, and Gavin Shields will have to miss the first half of next week's game. But that's an easy call.
And he's played so well.
Oh my goodness!
Today had that interception that led to an Army touchdown about 5 minutes ago.
Well, if he catches the ball in the previous play, he's still in the game. But that's a tough one right there. They're both, you know, kind of lowering their heads, looking to get a low football, making a play. I don't think it was egregious. Like, I don't think he was trying to hurt the young man, but
Brandon Hawkins has dealt with so much injury since coming to campus. Missed 2023 with a knee, had a season-ending foot fracture last year, 5 games in.
It's kind of interesting. You see that replay again, Matt. It's almost like they're both sort of trying to protect themselves because they don't really realize how close they are to the impact point. And as they're sort of shielding themselves off, it's a 1-2 bang bang, helmet to helmet.
Still under review, as all targeting calls are, as Brandon Hawkins walked off under his own power. He went to the medical tent on the UAB sideline. Seems pretty clear to both of us that this call will be upheld.
Unless I'm missing something where the helmet didn't make contact, Matt. To me, it looked pretty clear. There was a shoulder there.
There is no foul for targeting on the play. The result of the play was an incomplete pass. It'll be first down, Army.
So what we've been told is that replay upstairs in Birmingham confirmed that he led with the shoulder before the helmet, and therefore the targeting call is wiped off. Huge break for Army. Not only do they get the football back, Gavin Shields gets to stay in the game, and now it's Black Knights ball at the 25.
That's what I get for being so definitive on my opinion. That was definitely targeting.
5-yard penalty.
I was in the same boat.
It just looked so obvious to me. And
please put the game clock to 10:49. 10:49 and we'll start on the snap.
Next year at the ESPN College Football Center.
And I bet it would be 50-50 down the middle, with people saying yes and people saying no. That's a tough one.
Cale Helms continues to run the controls at quarterback. Black Knights started the game with Dwayne Coleman. Flip it to Noah Short. Boy, is he elusive. Short getting to the second level and is taken out of bounds in front of the 40 after a gain of 12.
Short goes long.
Now, you talked about it. He could play anywhere on the offense for just about any team
timeout for
in this
injury.
conference. Maybe most teams in the country.
He can play running back, receiver. He can play linebacker. He can play safety. Tremendous football player. Army's glad to have him.
Tosai McDaniel down in the secondary, which is already depleted today for UAB. We'll step aside. Out of the group of 5 and out of this conference, it's Memphis with the best chance to make the college football playoff. Right now, according to ESPN Analytics, 5-0. Number of very qualified teams at the top of the American right now. You could throw South Florida, Tulane, Navy in the mix. And North Texas as well, who is 5-0 for the first time since 1959. 1st and 10.
This is kind of a rare set here. Empty set for Army.
Ellums is following blockers. Black Knights content to really control the clock here with under 10 minutes to play and a 17-point lead.
A 17-point lead for a team like Army feels like it's 50-0.
Tell you what, there is a big game looming in the American Conference Friday night.
Oh, well aware, partner.
North Texas,
you and I have been
South
talking
Florida.
about that game for a couple of weeks. We had North Texas a week ago and knew they'd have a chance to be undefeated going into that matchup, and obviously now South Florida comes away with the victory last night over Charlotte. Denton is going to be rocking on a Friday night.
Pretty remarkable what the North Texas Mean Green have done this year offensively with a former walk-on 6th-string quarterback in Drew Mestemaker. And South Florida, of course, has already beaten Boise State and the University of Florida. Their lone loss to a top 5 Miami team. Big clash in the American Conference next Friday night, 7:30 Eastern on the Deuce.
Be a lot of green in that stadium. I don't know who has the cooler tone of green, shade of green.
3rd and 3 here near midfield. You would think, barring a loss of yardage, it's 4-down territory for Army. Ellums trying to push the pile. The spot is short of the line to gain by a long yard.
You know, it's kind of interesting in a lot of ways. Monken is like probably cool with it being about a yard short, because on most occasions they're going to easily get the yard, but it's the clock. It's that extra down. It's that extra 40 seconds.
Tick, tick, tick.
Yep, there you go, Boomer.
They have converted 3 of 4 4th-down tries today. And movement up front. This is going to be a false start on their tight end, Parker Pulaski.
False start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard
Now they got
penalty.
to punt.
Still
Most
4th down.
likely they have to punt.
Cale Ellums is walking off the field. And Jeff Monken will send the punt unit out.
That's a big false start, because we're talking about Army. You'd assume they can get a yard, right? Well, now they got to give the football back to UAB, and we know their offense can be explosive. Sure would be a different story. Army gets that 1st down and runs another 3-4 minutes off the clock.
Wagon-Seller's punt is away. Caleb Brown to receive it. Did not call for a fair catch. Had to make a leaping grab, tippy-toeing the sideline. After a 43-yard punt, they'll have it at about the 20. Can Kitna lead a comeback for Trent Dilfer? Sweet seating. Jeff Monken and his program looking forward to the end of construction at their home field in West Point, New York. 1st down and 10 from the 20 for UAB, whose offense has been anemic in the 2nd half. Getting it with time. Checks it down to Elijah Lag, his top tight end, and he is upended after a gain of 3. Last 4 drives for UAB. Missed field goal, fumble, interception, turnover on downs. Not much time to work with.
No, and in fact, you got to go so fast here, and when you do score, I believe you have to go onside kick immediately. Because there's not enough time, Matt, to get the football back.
They do have all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout.
Offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, second down.
But this has been the story all day. 10th penalty, which has often, Dustin, put them behind the chains.
Well, they came into the game averaging about 6.5 penalties per game. Already almost double that.
Getting a long throw. He was looking for Xavier Daisy. Incomplete. Have not seen Brandon Hawkins return to the game after he left their last drive, colliding with West Point linebacker Gavin Shields. So this team down 2 wide receivers right now, still without Corey Milliner in the midst of a leave of absence from the program. 3rd and 13. First down. No, I beg your pardon. Short of the first down to Iverson Hooks. That yellow line at the 20-yard line on the field here gets me every time. And I guess you got to go for it here. 4th and 10.
Yeah, there's no chance. I mean, you have to go for this.
They have to get to the 30.
Would you like me to put a yellow line out there for you, partner?
I'm saying it in my mind, visualizing it in my mind.
Love you, partner.
3-man rush. They drop 8. Kitna with time, delivers incomplete. Almost intercepted by the corner, Jaden Mays. Army will take over on downs and have a chance to run this out in Birmingham. Turnovers in this second half. And Army West Point has taken advantage of those miscues.
They're just not the team that you can afford to have miscues against. They're going to make you pay for those errors. It's just what they do.
And offensively, the Black Knights have been on schedule most of the day. It's allowed their rushing attack to flourish. Helms with a first down. Came into the day 4th in the country, averaging 286 rushing yards. They're now up over 240. My question to you is, have they found their quarterback? Came into the day still trying to figure that out. We saw both Dwayne Coleman and Kel Helms, but it's been Helms the entire second half.
Well, have they found their quarterback? It's kind of a loaded question, right? I mean, number one, you're trying to replace Daly, who was Captain America last year, or something along those lines, as I think Coach Dilfer said yesterday.
Verbatim, Captain America.
But no, I mean, listen, Coleman is dealing with an ankle injury that's limiting his mobility. So I do think that what we're seeing here from Helms has been impressive, but I do think there's a role for both of these guys to play. And Jeff Monken said this to us yesterday. He's like, yeah, there's that old adage, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. And we've all heard that,
UAB.
yada, yada, yada.
Please put 4:14
I don't know that I
on the
agree
game
with
clock.
that, especially with a program like
30-second
Army,
timeout.
how they run their offense. What's wrong with having a fresh quarterback, both of whom have different capabilities, different strengths and weaknesses? I think it can help Army.
That is an excellent point, because no other program in the country will run their quarterback 41 times in a game like Army did against K-State with Cale Helms. How does that hold up over the course of a season if you don't have somebody else to come in with fresh legs?
It's almost a benefit to them in a lot of ways, because the likelihood, I mean, come on, look at NFL quarterbacks. Those guys, and they never run, right? And most quarterbacks never stay healthy for a full season. So when you're talking about running a quarterback 20+ times a game, you got to have an efficient backup quarterback who's capable, and this one is.
Helms in for the 3rd time this afternoon. What a day for the junior from Tomball, Texas. And it has been all Black Knights in the second half.
Cale Helms doing it again and doesn't have to do a whole lot. I mean, they are blocking with extreme effort, pushing the pile, falls into the end zone, and then as he's walking off sort of says night night. The old Steph Curry celebration.
A much needed dominant victory for this Black Knights team that has had some heartbreaking losses. A pair of overtime defeats to Tarleton State and North Texas. They lead at 31-7. AT&T keeps us connected with today's best moment. The former high school hurdler doing it on the gridiron, Samari Howard. How about this, Dustin Fox?
Yeah, it makes me nervous jumping over defenders, but when you can do it with this level of athleticism and then stick the landing, I'm okay with it.
At 5'7", nonetheless. Got some hops.
Absolutely. Matt, this game was 7-7.
And it was 10-7
with a minute to go in the half.
Number 18 of UAB is now 91.
Army ends up with a walk-off field goal. 10-7 at halftime, and then 21 unanswered here in the second half. Can you say it's been all Army?
Yes.
I mean, it really has been. This has been an impressive performance by the Black Knights, and what a way to respond in a game they had to have. Neither one of these teams had won a game in conference yet. And for Army, I mean, you're a 1-3 football team. All of a sudden, things change, and things are in front of you. I mean, you.
As we check in on the Navy Air Force game, Navy leads 34-31 in the 4th quarter over on CBS Sports Network. The Commander-in-Chief's trophy is such a huge aspect of goal setting each year for the service academies. Air Force, Army, and Navy have each won in the last 3 years. Of course, Navy beat Air Force and Army last year. Jeff Munkin told us, even with the season we had, going 8-0 in conference, winning the conference crown, it did not overcome the saltiness of losing to their rival. Kettner pulls it down and picks up 5 or 6.
It's kind of funny, that score, 34-31. I mean, that's a lot of points, right? For teams that are methodical with how they run their offenses. I'm not saying they all run the same type of offense, but it's similar in some aspects. You'd think that those schools would know each other and be able to stop each other. Instead, they can't.
Great catch on the sideline there by Caleb Brown. Began his career as a top 10 wide receiver in the country at Ohio State, then Iowa. Now he matriculates to his 3rd program.
Tremendous talent coming out of high school, and you can see right there, I mean, great concentration, good throw.
Xavier Daisy with a 1st down grab to move the chains. So Army will exit this game with a 2-3 record. Return home to take on Charlotte, a team that has struggled so far this year. A lot of good things to take away from this game if you're a Black Knights fan, defensively, offensively, and on special teams. Another great catch by Brown, contested. Pick up the 15 yards. But before that big date with Tulane, you've got an opportunity to get back to 500 before the meat of league play begins. Kettner with time. Xavier Daisy has been the primary target this afternoon. That's his 7th catch of the day. He also has a touchdown. And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout of the 4th quarter. All Army in this one. Dating back to last week's loss to East Carolina, Jeff Monken's defense has allowed just 1 touchdown in 6 quarters and change. If they can keep UAB off the board here, it would be 1 touchdown in 7 quarters for the Black Knights. You know there's some pride involved here over the last 2 minutes.
There's no doubt.
2nd and 3 for Jalen Kitna and the Blazers. End zone shot. He had a wide open man, Solomon Beebe, but overthrew him. And I believe it's Beebe who is down.
He went into the stands.
I beg your pardon. That's Iverson Hooks.
It was Hooks. Hooks has been the one who's taken a bit of a beating today. Been down a couple times, and this time he ends up in the Chevrolet Field Club.
It was officials timeout for injury. Hero has to come off for a play.
Well, for UAB, they'll have Florida Atlantic, and then they welcome the undefeated Memphis Tigers on Saturday, October the 18th. We'll try to get back right into 500 before that tilt. Kitna drops it down to Javon Jackson. Makes it 1st and goal. 90 seconds to play in the ball game. Kitna will run it right up the middle, and he is upended before the end zone by Steven Nadozi.
Be careful with Kitna. I mean, he's your season. It's a 31-7 game.
Here's Jackson, stuffed initially and driven back. Elijah Walton made the initial contact.
Timeout. UAB.
Trent Dilfer calls
30-second timeout. Please put 102 on the game clock. 102.
Maybe just trying to gain some momentum here before they go into the next week. We'll take on Florida Atlantic, who's been up and down this year.
This would be the lowest, well, it will be regardless, the lowest point total their offense has put out this season, Matt. Talking about the Blazers.
We'll get another bye between Memphis and that road contest looming at UConn. They have not won on the road since Dilfer took over. A lot of things to work on for this UAB team. Namely would be the penalties and the turnovers. Those miscues have cost them when they've had offensive momentum. Kitna running right and floats it out of the back of the end zone. Defensively, they'll try to get healthy. Down 5 or 6 starters right now. Certainly That may have played a factor in today's second half. And now backup quarterback Ryder Burton is going to come into the game for this 4th and goal from the 1. Can the West Point defense stand firm here? Burton will keep, and he does have enough to muscle in for a touchdown.
See Ryder Burton with his size. It's into the end zone for his first touchdown as a Blazer.
They go for 2, and is it enough? No, they're stopped short.
Ruling on the field, the runner is short.
Justin
Tries
Weaver
no
with
good.
the tackle of Caleb Brown. Well, Jeff Monken told us they came into this game with a real sense of desperation. The way that their first 4 games went, emotionally draining, physically draining, with 2 comebacks falling short in overtime. They'll have Charlotte at home, then a big one, a rematch of last year's conference championship game at Tulane on the 18th. Then a much-needed bye for this team that's a little bit banged up. Their first action against the Service Academy on November 1st against Air Force, who right now is in a battle with Navy. Won the Commander-in-Chief Trophy last year. Jeff Monken also told us the date of the 2025 Army-Navy game has been plastered all over their team training facility and weight room.
Right?
December 13th, 2025, since that loss to Navy last year. You played in one of the greatest rivalries in sports, but you told Jeff Monken you were envious of his rivalry with Navy last night when we met with the head coach.
A little bit, just because it means so much more than football.
Illegal equipment, kicking team, multiple players with the number 0. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick.
Especially
First
when
down, Army.
they're competitive back and forth as there's another.
Please put 53 seconds on the game clock. 53 seconds.
Let's add some more time.
Victory formation for the Army Black Knights, and how sweet it will be. A dominant performance coming off a loss to East Carolina, in which particularly their defense felt like they didn't come in with the right mentality. Now, they flipped it after the first 8 minutes of the game, but they were already down 21-0. Today, not the case. They took the lead early, took the lead into halftime, and have just added to that lead here in the second half. So Jeff Monken and the Army Black Knights will return to West Point, New York, with a 2-3 record and a date looming with Charlotte winning their first road game at UAB since joining the league in 2023.
Just an impressive overall performance, Matt, by the Army Black Knights. Offense, defense, special teams, got the job done. Multiple quarterbacks. You know, whatever it takes. You know the mentality. Their backs were up against the wall at 1-3. Had a tough loss last week with really four and a half days of rest between their previous game to play on Thursday. Then they had a little extra time to come into this one. You could see they were so excited to play, motivated. Didn't matter early morning kickoff or not. They brought the juice this afternoon and got the job done all the way around. And UAB just shot themselves in the foot 100 different ways. You just can't win football games like that, and you certainly can't win football games against one of the most disciplined teams in the world.
So it's Army winning it 31-13 on the road. Jeff Monken's team came in with desperation. They played like it. 3 rushing touchdowns for Cale Helms. And the Black Knights pick up their 2nd win of the season in dominant fashion. For our entire ESPN crew, Dustin Fox, Matt Schumacher saying good afternoon from Birmingham.